The images are seared into our collective memory. The haunting visuals of devastation and loss are impossible to forget. Apocalyptic scenes of Lahaina, Maui, reduced to smouldering ash. A once thriving community now lies in ruins, a stark reminder of nature's fury. Homes, businesses, and lives turned to dust in the blink of an eye. The personal belongings, memories, and dreams of countless individuals all reduced to ashes. The historic town, once a vibrant tapestry of culture and community, now a desolate wasteland. The contrast between the past and present is heart-wrenching. Similarly, across the Pacific, California burned. The Golden State, known for its beauty, now scarred by relentless flames. Wildfires fueled by drought and driven by fierce winds tore through Los Angeles, leaving behind a trail of destruction. The relentless advance of the flames seemed unstoppable. These are not isolated incidents. They are part of a growing pattern that is becoming disturbingly familiar. They are becoming a terrifyingly regular occurrence. Year after year, the frequency and intensity of these wildfires increase, leaving communities in perpetual fear. Each year, the fires grow larger, more intense, and increasingly difficult to contain. The resources to fight them are stretched thin, and the toll on both human and natural life is staggering. The human toll is immeasurable, the environmental devastation profound. Families are displaced, wildlife habitats destroyed, and the land left barren and charred. But as we grapple with the immediate aftermath, a chilling question emerges: are these truly natural disasters, or are darker forces at play? The unsettling patterns and anomalies raise more questions than answers. The official narrative tells us these fires are a consequence of climate change. Scientists point to rising temperatures and prolonged droughts as key factors. Drier conditions and stronger winds, they say, create the perfect storm for these infernos. The changing climate is undeniably a significant factor. But for many who witnessed the fires firsthand, something doesn't add up. The speed and ferocity of the flames defy conventional explanations. The speed with which the fires spread, the seemingly targeted nature of the destruction, and the eerie lack of adequate resources to combat the blazes have fueled a growing sense of suspicion and mistrust. Communities are left wondering if there is more to these disasters than meets the eye. As we delve deeper into the ashes of these tragedies, it becomes increasingly difficult to ignore the unsettling possibility that these fires, far from being random acts of nature, may be part of a larger, more sinister agenda. The evidence, though circumstantial, is compelling, an agenda that benefits a select few at the expense of the many. The potential for profit and power in the wake of such destruction is a disturbing thought. An agenda that, if left unchecked, could have devastating consequences for our communities and our future. The stakes are high, and the need for vigilance and accountability has never been greater. The official narrative claims high winds were the primary driver of the Lahaina fire's unprecedented speed and ferocity. According to meteorologists, these winds, often reaching hurricane-like speeds, created a perfect storm of conditions that allowed the fire to spread uncontrollably. The combination of dry vegetation, high temperatures, and these relentless winds supposedly turned the area into a tinderbox, ready to ignite at any moment. Yet eyewitness accounts paint a different picture. Residents who lived through the ordeal describe a series of events that don't quite align with the official story. They speak of unusual occurrences and inexplicable phenomena that suggest there might be more to the story than just natural forces at play. Residents described the fires erupting suddenly and simultaneously across multiple locations as if ignited by an unseen hand. This simultaneous ignition across vast distances raises questions about the true origin of the fires. How could such a coordinated outbreak occur naturally? Some even report seeing blue flashes or beams of light preceding the outbreaks, descriptions eerily reminiscent of directed energy weapons. These accounts, while dismissed by many as mere speculation, add a layer of mystery and intrigue to the already perplexing situation. These accounts, dismissed by mainstream media as the ramblings of traumatized survivors, raise uncomfortable questions. Why are these first-hand experiences being so readily ignored? Is there a deliberate attempt to suppress information that could point to a more sinister cause? How could a fire, even one fueled by strong winds, spread so rapidly and erratically without some form of external assistance? The erratic behavior of the fire, jumping from one location to another with seemingly no pattern, defies conventional understanding of wildfire dynamics. Why were official warnings delayed, leaving residents with little time to evacuate? The delayed response and lack of timely alerts exacerbated the chaos, trapping many in a desperate race against the advancing flames. And why did some structures, seemingly impervious to the intense heat, remain curiously unscathed while others crumbled to ash around them? This selective destruction suggests that certain areas were either protected or targeted, adding another layer of complexity to the unfolding mystery. Adding to the mystery is the seemingly selective nature of the destruction. The fire's path appears almost calculated, sparing some areas while utterly devastating others. In Lahaina, luxury resorts and mansions owned by the ultra-wealthy remained largely untouched, standing as stark contrast to the surrounding devastation. While the historic town centre, home to working-class families and indigenous communities, was decimated. This disparity in destruction has led many to question whether the fire was a natural disaster or something more deliberate. This stark contrast fuels the growing suspicion that these fires are not random acts of nature, but rather carefully orchestrated events designed to benefit a select few. The idea that such a disaster could be engineered for profit or control is unsettling, yet it persists in the minds of many. The mainstream narrative, quick to dismiss these concerns as conspiracy theories, offers no satisfactory explanation for the unusual behavior of the fires or the inconsistencies in eyewitness accounts. This dismissal only deepens the divide between official reports and public perception. This lack of transparency only serves to fuel public distrust and raise further questions about what truly transpired on that fateful day. As more people demand answers, the pressure mounts on authorities to provide a clear and honest account of the events that led to such widespread devastation. As the flames raged across Maui and Los Angeles, another disturbing detail emerged: a critical lack of water to combat the blazes. The fires, fueled by dry conditions and high winds, spread rapidly, leaving destruction in their wake. Firefighters on the front lines faced a horrifying reality: dry hydrants and depleted reservoirs, leaving them virtually powerless to stop the inferno's advance. Despite their best efforts, the lack of water severely hampered their ability to protect homes and lives. This lack of water, we are told, is simply another unfortunate consequence of climate change-induced drought. The parched earth and dry riverbeds are stark reminders of the changing climate and its impact on our environment. However, a closer look reveals a more troubling truth. The issue is not just about natural drought conditions, but also about human actions that have exacerbated the problem. In both Maui and Los Angeles, water resources have been systematically diverted and mismanaged, leaving communities vulnerable to disaster. Water meant for public use has often been redirected for private gain, creating a precarious situation. In Maui, decades of over-extraction by private corporations, primarily for the benefit of luxury resorts and golf courses, have depleted the island's aquifers. These practices have left the local population struggling to access the water they need for daily life. This, combined with aging infrastructure and a lack of investment in water management, created a ticking time bomb waiting to explode. The neglected water systems are unable to cope with the demands placed upon them, leading to frequent shortages. Similarly, in Los Angeles, years of drought have been exacerbated by the city's reliance on imported water and its failure to adequately invest in water conservation and storage. The city's water policies have not kept pace with the growing demand and changing climate conditions. These systemic failures raise a disturbing question: was this a natural disaster or a crisis manufactured by corporate greed and government negligence? The evidence suggests a complex interplay of both natural and human factors. By prioritizing profit over people, have those in power deliberately created the conditions for these catastrophic fires? The decisions made in boardrooms and government offices have far-reaching consequences for ordinary citizens. The lack of adequate water resources to combat the blazes is not a coincidence. It is a direct result of policy choices that prioritize corporate interests over the well-being of communities. These choices have left firefighters and residents to fend for themselves in the face of disaster. It is a stark reminder that when it comes to disaster preparedness, the needs of the many are routinely sacrificed at the altar of profit for the few. The ongoing struggle for water rights and equitable resource management continues to be a critical issue that demands our attention and action. As the dust settles and the initial shock subsides, a chilling question lingers in the air. How could these fires have been so devastating, so precise, and so seemingly unstoppable? While mainstream narratives focus on climate change and high winds, a growing number of people are turning their attention to a more unsettling possibility: the use of advanced technologies, specifically directed energy weapons, DUs. DUs, once the realm of science fiction, are now a terrifying reality. These weapons, capable of generating intense beams of energy, can trigger fires from a distance, leaving no trace of conventional ignition sources. While governments and military institutions maintain strict secrecy surrounding DW programs, leaked documents and whistleblower accounts suggest their development is far more advanced than publicly acknowledged. The unusual behavior of the Maui and Los Angeles fires, particularly the speed of their spread, the selective nature of the destruction, and eyewitness accounts of strange lights and blue flashes, has fueled speculation about the potential use of DWs. Could these fires be the result of a clandestine military operation, or perhaps a test run by a private corporation developing these advanced technologies? While concrete evidence remains elusive, the possibility of DW involvement, however unsettling, cannot be easily dismissed. The potential implications of such technology falling into the wrong hands are staggering, raising profound questions about government transparency, corporate accountability, and the very future of warfare.